What's up, everybody? We back with another message, another video. Thank you to all my new subscribers and future new subscribers. You know we do nothing here without God because everything is spiritually led by God over here. We cover the world from a spiritual and physical aspect to get the raw, real, and uncut answers. So anything you hear, anything you see in these end times, may you test the spirits, aka take the words and visuals back to prayer with God, as there are many Decepticons running around in these end times sent from the enemy, had a strong, close, and personal relationship with God. Good, great, and awesome. All right, everybody, so let's go over this February 26, 2024 word here. A piece of this word that went over riots and a man setting himself on fire or holding fire, which is very interesting that the Lord just showed me a lot of chaos coming that he's been talking about, especially after the eclipse. And we're seeing a lot of crazy stuff happening. So let's talk about some things here. So we know that there have been a lot of disturbances at universities and so forth. And it's been pretty bad and disorderly. You know, it's not really peaceful when people are yelling at each other, screaming at each other, clashing and setting flags on fire. And, you know, that's not orderly at all. So very violent, like riot, like protest, basically describing the word that the Lord gave February 26. I uploaded it the 27th. But yeah, and then let's talk about this man setting himself on fire in front of a courthouse during that situation with Trump. That was huge because the Lord had given me a vision of this man with fire in his hand, and then it was like so close up, like 3D, and it was just fire everywhere. And so now this man is on the news who lit himself up on fire. Like, but that's symbolism for chaos. You know, at a courthouse, a man sets himself on fire. Chaos. That's symbolism. That's a message that's being sent. You know, that's very symbolic, especially now after the eclipse. Somebody else set their wife on fire and burned themselves alive, and people are taking their own lives and so forth. It's just getting kind of crazy. So be prayed up, continue to intercede, and just stay close to the Lord, okay? Because it's a lot happening, and I just wanted to go over that real quick with you all. You know, we do the background and the prior word and the events, okay? Not too long, but just had to cover that, okay? Peace and blessings, and catch you in the next one. But the Lord knows what he's allowing to happen. He knows what he's doing. I then had a vision of fire. Like, so this man had this fire in his hand, something with fire on it. It was like in my face in the vision. Like, you know how 3D movies be in your face, like that in my face. And then I then saw fire everywhere and things being burned in riots. Then the Lord says there is a riot incoming. I don't know where this riot is incoming. I don't always assume this is where I live. So just FYI, like, I don't know what riot is incoming. But he said there is a riot incoming. He did warn in the past that there would be riots in the U.S., right? But this particular word, he said there is a riot incoming. So we just gonna have to see what is happening with this particular riot, because there's just so much going on in the world right now. And, you know, the Lord doesn't want to freak people out as things are happening. So he will just tell you, hey, this is what's going to happen. Don't worry about how, where, when. Just know that you have him and you will be safe. But he's telling you, when you see it, you're not going to be caught off guard, because people start freaking out a little bit. And if they hear where, you may not move if God tells you to move. And, you know, so God is careful about the details he gives out, especially right now in this transition season. For those wondering, well, why didn't he tell you where?
Clashes between police and pro-Palestinian demonstrators are intensifying. Protests at Columbia University in New York are now in their 8th day. And today, the Speaker of the House was on campus calling on the school's president to restore order. CBS's Nancy Chen has more on the growing nationwide tensions.
Let him go! This was the scene at the University of Southern California after school security tried to stop students from setting up a protest encampment. Hundreds of demonstrators surrounded a patrol car after campus police detained one student who was later released. At the University of Texas, Austin, police in riot gear and officers on horseback confronted about 200 students participating in a pro-Palestinian rally. More than 20 were arrested. On the East Coast, demonstrators set up an encampment on Harvard Yard in solidarity with student protesters at Columbia University.
Campus chaos is spreading coast to coast as pro-Palestinian agitators step up their campaign. Protesters clashed with police at New York University as cops tore down a tent city.
Leave the plaza now, or you will be arrested for trespass.
150 were arrested as police filled the streets around the university campus in Greenwich. There were violent clashes with police at California State Polytechnic in Northern California, where students occupied a building and barricaded the entrance with furniture. One student repeatedly clonks a riot cop on the helmet with a water cooler bottle. Police tried to battle their way through the barricades, but were actually forced to retreat from the narrow doorway. At the University of Michigan, protesters disrupted the annual honor ceremony, striding across the stage, displaying anti-Israel placards. The ceremony was abandoned.
Where are the police? Why do they let these people in?
Protests across the country seem likely to continue.
We begin tonight with that breaking news from Lower Manhattan. Emergency crews rushed to a park just across the street from the courthouse with fire extinguishers to douse the flames engulfing a 37-year-old man. After burning for several minutes, he was carried away on a stretcher and taken to the hospital in critical condition. It does not appear the incident has anything to do with the trial of the former president, which continued on without interruption. Authorities say the man was carrying colorful pamphlets that were full of anti-government conspiracies. They don't believe he was targeting any particular person or group.
Authorities confirm 37-year-old Maxwell Azzarello is from St. Augustine, Florida. Tonight, officials say he is intubated and in critical condition.
He throws the pamphlets throughout the park, and then he pulls out a canister and pours some kind of liquid on himself. Court officers, members of the police department, they run into the park. They make efforts to put him out.
How concerned are you that somebody was able to get this far in, light themselves on fire, that with all of these law enforcement officials around?
We're very concerned.